So today is 2nd September 2025. So let's go to comment on the channel. He said, what's the best oil for 504? See, the answer, this video, comment on video I did concerning engine oil, 10w-40 oil I put in the 505 ST. So I explained why I chose the oil and recommended oil for this engine. So I don't know why you're asking the question when the answer is in the video. It's as if you didn't even watch the video. Watch the video. You should understand when it comes to 505. It's basically you're also talking about 504. You should know that by now, unless you don't own a 504. If you own a 504, you know that once anybody is talking about 505, you should pay attention, because the person is also talking about 504. Because basically they are the same car with different body electrical systems. So you don't expect 504 to use a different oil from 505. Same engine. Anyway, moving on. So watch the video. There's another video I did before this. We also gave some further explanations concerning oil for such cars. Anyway, this is from Clint. He said, I do not catch all. I have a car with 3FZ engine that is dead. I only find 3FY replacement engine. So I wonder if I can mount this 3FY in my car, keeping all peripherals of old 3FZ, intake and exhaust, collector, sensors, etc. In this video, you are speaking about a sensor that is different. What is it? On the engine body itself or on its peripherals? Okay, so those who don't know what he meant by 3FZ and 3FY is referring to EW12J4 engine. So, so the EW12J4 engine are divided into two. There's one that is the older version of the engine has 3FZ. It has 3FZ the injection system, which you will find in 406, 807, 607, 607, and which other project car? 407. Then of course there will be some other cars or models in Citroen that you can find this engine. So then 3FY is a replacement of 3FZ. So 3FY is an improved injection system for EW12J4 engine. So whenever you hear about 3FZ or 3FY, know that both injection system for EW12J4, just that one is newer, while the other is older. So 3FY, you are not trying to say whether they use whether you want to know whether you use the same, whether you can use it 3FZ. Okay, let me make it easier so that people who are watching will know what I mean. Now 3FZ, how to identify 3FZ from 3FY. 3FZ, which is the older version of the 2.2 liter EW12J4 engine. It has a E2 engraved on the cylinder head, while the 3FY has a E4 engraved on it. So that's how to identify which one is which on the cylinder head. So to the best of my knowledge, almost everything about the engine is the same. There could be slight differences, but I just don't have that information to give. I think the valves are the same, if I'm not mistaken. I could be wrong, but uh, the camshafts, I don't know. Unless I will have to go back and check. Because I know there was a time I did a study on both engines. But I'm just thinking that most likely might not be identical. Because if the engines are identical, then I don't see why they should change the inscription on them. Why they should change it from E2 to E4. Because you can easily change the accessories. For example, EW10J4 that you find in 406 and 407. Same engine, but on 407 the accessories change. So the accessories is what I believe he meant by peripherals. So same engine, but it changed. So all they could have done was retain the one with E2, which is the 3FZ. Then some version they will now use that's for the 3FY version, they will just use the different accessories on them. But I don't know why they now change the model or the code number engraved on the first version of 3FZ or EW12J4 engine. They change it to E4 with the new accessories, which is 3FY. So it's as if maybe there might be something different inside. However, I will tell you, the accessories will match. If you swap everything, there's no, I don't think there's any significant change externally. I don't see that. What I mean is the engine is basically the same in terms of the appearance, everything, every place you tight anything is basically the same thing. So you can easily swap the accessories of 3FZ on the 3FY. I know somebody that have done it before on 607. So it's doable. However, I will point out this. It's possible that it was caused by lack of basic maintenance or proper maintenance or bad use, because about 3 years later, 2-3 years later or so, after he did that in 607, originally the 607 we had the Z8, no, it has E2, which is 3FZ. So he now bought a 3FY, which is E4, swapping. Return all the accessories of the E2 on the E4. And he was using the car, but later on he now bought the car to me. Like years later, and was like that I should diagnose why the car was sluggish. That he had done so many, were trying to figure out what was the cause of this sluggishness. So what I do observe, even before I even started scan, was oil pressure issue. Was already warning. Sufficient oil pressure. You know how it is. So it was giving oil pressure issue. Warning on the instrument panel and the multifunction display, if I'm not mistaken. That's a Z8. Then something else I now observe too. If you try to crank the engine, it will behave as if the starter motor is weak. You know how you do wow, 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 then it will start. So of course initially you think, oh, probably it's battery. But how I knew it wasn't battery was, if it was battery, it will only take a few crank, then it dies. But this one, I was asking the owner, he say he has changed the battery, same thing, changed the starter motor few times, like say maybe 2 times, same issue. It still behaves that way. So as when he was saying that was then definitely the issue is was the engine itself. So I can't remember whether I saw any fault when I scanned it. Of course, obviously, but I simply told him that the cause of the sluggishness was the engine itself. Something was wrong with the engine. That's why the engine is almost seizing up. Weeks later, after he left my place, after I did the diagnosis, I didn't bother to do the repair. I told this the engine, something is wrong with the engine. It's as simple as that. Weeks later, the engine packed up. What I mean weeks, I'm talking about probably like 1 week. In fact, let's just say days later, the engine packed up, as in for good. He was driving according to him, now all of a sudden, the engine went off. He tried to crank it, no, nothing. Nothing he did. Engine did not even make any move. No wow, nothing. It just seized. And that was it. I had to buy another one. So, you might look as if, oh, probably because he put E4 instead of E2. That he put 3FY version, 3FY engine instead of the 3FZ for injection system that is meant for 3FZ. So I don't know for sure. I can't say that was why the engine packed up. It's possible, maybe not. That's the only person I know I can remember that did that kind of combination. But like I said, when you look at them, the two engines, that you won't notice any difference aside that those things engraved on the cylinder head, E4, E2. Other than that, basically the same thing, no difference. So, I mean, if that's the only one you have access to, why not? I mean, like I said, just go ahead and see what happens. Unless somebody else have experienced it again, something like what I just described, he did the same thing, put 3FY engine to work with 3FZ injection system and has same issue. I don't know, maybe you also put it in the comment section and let's hear from you. But for me, if I were in your shoes, I'll go ahead and mount it, 3FY, and see what happens. So I don't expect it to, but I just gave you my own experience. So okay, moving on. This Obicha say, I almost forgot. If you like speed on long journeys, go for low profile performance tires. Okay. Um. From the same person say, good evening, Lion King. For long journey, it's better to put the tire at 3 psi, while in cities at 6 psi. But some people will inflate the 50 psi, and that's tantamount to suicide. As for women not chipping out, most of them have little responsibility, and most of them lifestyle are funded by men. Yeah, for women, yeah, of course, their responsibility is the unmarried or the ones that are not yet married. Their only responsibility, yeah, okay, I won't say it's only them, because of course they always, if their mother is still there, yeah, take care of their mothers. That's one I can tell you. Maybe siblings as well, but their primary responsibility is themselves. Them why they are married. It used to be back then. Once a woman gets married and start bearing children, no more. Not she herself. Nobody will even be the one to tell. That's how they were groomed. That's how they were raised. The children, the family becomes her primary responsibility. She can go without wrapper for months. As far as the children are well fed or stuff like that, the household is kept tidy. I mean, back then, during the women of today, I don't think they even understand what it means to be a wife, to be honest. So, not today. So, what you are saying is for women of today. Modern women, let me put it this way, modern women. But we are talking about back then when I was growing up. It's not just about, my own parents or my mother. I grew up with looking at every other families, see what's going on. That's how they mean. Women back then, selfless. I'm not saying they were the best, that every family, every woman or mother deserved what I'm saying, but generally, yeah, you know, you'll be proud of them. But now, some, but because everybody is busy trying to look her best, trying to use buy this, do this. Yeah, in that case, yeah, you could say the same, that their own response. They even when they are married or something, then they are dating. Of course, there's always a man somewhere providing, even if she is also making money for herself. You know, somebody, there's always a man somewhere. One way or the other may not be that significant. Is also paying off some of those things. Yeah, I could say that they're also buying tires for them. You know, but that's not even the point. Because the point is, at least they they understand the value of life better than men, as when it comes to stuff like this. Because nothing stops them from using the money the extra money they had in buying those expensive tires. They would have used it to go and buy more body fillers, we call makeup. You know, buy more dresses. You know, buy more handbags, more Yvonne, more wigs or whatever they call it. But they buy those ones. I mean, they know they want to keep themselves safe. So the men don't appreciate stuff like this. So it's not even an excuse for us, because they have people. Um, Come on, man, we know what we do. Sometimes, yeah, we have to have responsibilities, even as unmarried men. Men like me also have responsibility beyond ourselves. Once you're a man, African man, trust me, you know that, especially if you're an Igbo man, you have a responsibility back home, in your village, whether I like it or not. Especially if you want to participate in your family affairs. You have responsibilities there, financially and otherwise. You know, so, but it doesn't stop you from saying, hey, at least I need to be alive to even be doing all those things. You know, those money I spend sometimes to go and drink elsewhere, probably cut it down. So, you know, there are some things you spend money on that you could say. I don't know, for me, tires are very... I know not everybody is into speed. I can tell you that. You know, not everybody is that. To them, even 80 kilometers per hour is even too much. So such people, if you are telling them buy those expensive tires that can be able to handle higher speed, they'll be like, what? They don't need it. They hardly get to that point. So why would they waste that kind of money? So in that case, yeah, it will logically make sense for them not to invest so much, because it's an investment. Investment to stay alive. Keep yourself alive. You might call it away, but it's an investment. Otherwise, yeah, take you out. Your tire could take you out, and that'll be the end. You know, so just have me. Number one, yeah, I love speed. What I mean is I enjoy driving fast most of the time, or some of the time. Most of the time, I could say. What I mean fast, you know, some will say, oh, you mean you are driving 400 kilometers per hour. I mean, even if it's 100 kilometers per hour I want to do in a journey, or whatever distance I want to cover within a short period, how I get to that 100 kilometers per hour is what I'm interested in. How fast, how fun it is to get to that 100 is what I find more attractive in a car. Not what I mean how fast, how quick it takes me there. That's what I'm saying. Without necessarily putting a lot of pressure on the engine or the transmission to get to that point. You know, so that's what I mean. So yeah, I want a tire that can be able to match that energy. So that's why I don't joke when it comes to tires. I'm not saying, I always wait before they expire or this, I'll change them. But what I'm saying is, it's always at the back of my mind that, hey, maybe I may need to. It's almost due for change. I start working towards that. So I take it seriously. That's the point. Until when I know, okay, it's time for me to get rid of them, and I replace them with, if not something better, but at least something that can still serve based on my driving style. All right. So this is from Daniel. He said you are right about using recommended engine oil. I was using total was 5,000 20W50 for my TU5 JP4. Then I swapped and used Mobil Super 3000 5w-40 with the Peugeot specification, and I noticed an improvement in engine performance. The engine was so aggressive and more quiet. Yeah, well, this testimony from someone that switched to 5w-40 fully synthetic oil, specifically the Mobil Super 3000. So yeah, you can, 20w50 in some engines, it's like running the engine with grease instead of oil. I don't know how else to put it. It's just too thick. For some engines, yeah, it's just not good at all. So it will make your engine noisier. This makes it to struggle more to produce power. All those things will also increase fuel consumption, and also um, wear it out much faster. So I don't know. Sometimes the best I can do is to keep preaching so that people who want to make the changes can do. Some who will always find something to rationalize why they want to keep using that oil in their modern engines. Yeah, I can tell you to use it when your engine is almost on its way out. So in other words, I mean, the engine is dead. It's just that it's just waiting for time to explode or decide not to continue rotating. In that case, yeah, just find an oil that will reduce the consumption, because that time I started consuming. So you can as well just elongate it a little before it finally gives up. So in that case, yeah, go for the 20W50. But if the engine is healthy, use oil that will elongate it as much as possible before you start talking about weakness. But not everybody will understand. They will come trying to argue with you. So I can't save everybody. So you saved yourself. But the only thing I always tell people, when you do that kind of switch from one oil to another, sometimes it may cost you something else, like engine oil sales. So always expect it may not. It's not a must. You might do it, nothing will happen, but you might do it a day or 2 days later, you start noticing oil stain on the ground wherever you park your car. By the time you check, you see that one or two of your engine oil sails have started leaking oil. Nothing there, you just change those sails, put new ones, good quality new ones, and then that problem solved. Alright, moving on. So this from Rolly Williams. It says, please, can you speak more on EW12 and EW14 engine, as I'm confused on which one to buy and fix in my 407. Thank you in anticipation. So this person is referring to the same thing we talked about on the guy that's already made a purchase, or say he already has access to. What did he say? Let's go back. I only find a 3FY engine, replacement engine. So, okay, so means he said that's the only one he has access to. So, probably he has not made the purchase. So this one said EW. Now, so he said you have a 407. It didn't say which of the engine do you have. Okay, oh, you don't have. Okay, so you say you have. On which one to buy and fix in my 407 means you already have the car. It didn't state which of the engines you have. Well, okay, let's assume what you have there is not the one that actually the car came with. That maybe somebody had done the switch from E2 to E4. So let me correct it first. Number one, first thing to correct here is there's nothing like EW14. That's one of the I don't know who taught Nigerians that crap. It can be difficult to converse. Sometimes I go along with that word when I'm talking to parts sellers locally, some mechanics, wait. Sometimes I'm like, no, I'm done. Please, I can't be going stooping that low with you guys. I try to educate. And some will still argue. What I mean is, there's nothing like EW14. As far as Pojo is concerned, there is nothing like that. I know they are looking at it because it has a 4 on it, engraved on the engine. That's E4. And then they will say, oh, but the other one has E2 and it's called EW12J4. So now that this one has E4, it means EW14J4. Please, there's nothing like that. That thing you see there is written E4 means EW12J4. It's just that it's the injection system attached on that engine is a newer version to or against that of the one that has E2. So it's not EW14. So if I don't know which one you have. Now, how do you know the one you have? Maybe I'll do a video, a separate video showing the attachment of or accessories of EW, the 3FZ versus 3FY, EW12J4 engine, the E2 versus E4 accessories of EW12J4. So you'll be able to now know. So when you look at your engine bay, open your engine bay, the intake manifold, yeah, that would be the easiest way to tell. No, that's not it, because some people might still swap it even when that's not the right. But it's going to mess up the wiring system because the engine wiring harnesses are not the same. Engine ECUs are not the same, so it'll be very difficult to put wiring harness, intake manifold, and other accessories of that's E2 EW12J4 to use it on E4 EW12J4. It's going to be difficult. So you must use those accessories of the E2 and the E4 if you want to use it the same engine ECU. It's not just engine ECU, even the complete wiring harness on that car, we don't match. The harness that comes from the dashboard into the engine bay, it won't work with your E2 for that, especially for that of E4. It will not work. It's a different system. Let me explain how if 3FY version of EW12J4 the wiring system is. It's basically the same or similar to that of EW10A or EW7A. So they are not the same. So depending if you already have the engine, the vehicle, and it's EW12J4, you are not talking about conversion from EW10 to EW12 anything, then I would suggest, just like I mentioned the other after, buy the, if it's E2 that was bad and you want to remove it, or check your VIN. Let's just go straight to your VIN, find out. Your VIN will tell you which engine that was there before or that is meant to be there, and which characters on the VIN that will tell you. Just count from V because it's Pojo. Count for, you see VF3. Okay, since it's 407, see VF36. Then that VF36, that's fourth code. Then it depends if it's automatic, you see, I think D. Then if it's manual, you see H. H should be the fifth character. For manual 407, the The fifth code should be H. The automatic, the fifth code should be, I think, D. Now the sixth, no, not code, I mean character. Now the sixth, the seventh, and the eighth characters, starting from that V, count it. Once you get to this sixth, seventh, and the eighth character, those three characters will tell you the injection system of that car. It will tell you the engine that is supposed to be in that car. When I'm inspecting car, when I'm checking car, what I do is I just go to the VIN and check those three characters. I will check them first before I even open the engine bay. So if I open the engine bay and see something else against the VIN, I'll walk away, or I'll know that, okay, so this car has been converted from one engine to another. So how do you now know? For you that is asking this question, go there, go to your VIN, check. You can check, don't use only one VIN, in case maybe they change the dashboard or something. There's a VIN on the body of the car. There's about 2 places or 3 places. Then, if the system, if it's let's assume your own is supposed to have the E2 engine, EW12J4 E2. So what you see on your 6th, 7th, and 8th characters will be 3FZ. That's VF 36 D 3FZ or H 3FZ. Period. 6th, 7th, and 8th character on your VIN. Go and check it. As far as EW12J4 is concerned. No, what I mean is, go and check. If it's 3FZ, you know that it means E2. That's what is supposed to be there. If you now see something else there, if you see the 3FY, if you see E4 there, it means it wasn't originally meant to be there. It was changed by someone. Instead of E2, you now put E4, EW12J4. And if it's E2, you see that intake manifold is supposed to be that cast one, that silver cast intake manifold. Then if you check and what you see, the 6th, 7th, and 8th character is 3FY, it means what is supposed to be there is E4. So if you see E2, it means somebody actually changed engine in the past. So instead of putting E4 engine, you now put E2. And what I mean E4, it's possible they only change the cylinder head, that this button still remains the same. So that's what you need to do. From there, you now have idea which one do you want to, which one is meant to be there. And then you check the wiring system. Is this still the E4 engine wiring system or injection system? Now, to respond to the question the first person asked before, whether there is a difference. Yeah, the injection system are completely different. They are not the same. The ignition coil, the same. Spark plug, the same, if I'm not mistaken. Fuel injectors, no, they are not the same. Map sensor, they are not the same. Intake manifold, of course, not the same. Throttle body, they are not the same. I'm trying to think of other things. Then E2, the 3FZ EW12J4. I don't actually like that. I prefer the 3FY to 3FZ. The 3FZ, the injection system is, I don't, there are about 3, there is an assembly of vacuum lines that is attached on the intake manifold. That cast intake manifold that even goes behind by the side and the rest. That's one thing I don't like about that engine, because that vacuum line, those you see things that are plastic hoses, kind of. It has some wiring connections to them. Over time, they start breaking. Those that live in the West, what I mean in Europe, or those colder countries, they won't really understand what I'm saying, because maybe, you know, if it's not hot enough, I don't see them breaking. Over here, over time, they start cracking. Once you live in this part of the world, they are usually hotter than those sides. They start cracking, breaking, and they are not available to replace. You can't see a new one to buy. If you want to search for used one, they've also all broken. So it makes it very difficult to maintain or use for a long time without it breaking. So what I would do if I were the owner, I would just have to figure out how to construct something else. Construct something else. That is the only way. Otherwise, it's horrible. Even me, I don't like working on that. Once you get to that throttle intake manifold, I'm like, hey, because just say, just because you want to touch it to break, and it's enough to break. And what happens then? So if those are vacuum lines or plastic pipes are available, fine. If you buy now, but this one they are not. So unlike the improved EW12J4, which is E4, the 3FY, no, those are, they eliminated that crap. To me, it's a waste. So they designed the intake manifold, put a plastic one. It's just much better. You have all those issues gone. So, and to be honest, the throttle body, the motorized throttle body of the 3FY lasts longer. From my own experience, they last longer than the motorized throttle body of the E2, the 3FZ. Funny thing is, you can actually use the throttle body of 3FZ. You can use the motorized throttle body of 3FZ on the 3FY, but you can't use the motorized throttle body of 3FY on the 3FZ. Isn't that interesting? So that's the best way for you to figure out which one you have and which one to buy. Then you can now decide if maybe you can no longer find the 3FZ or the E2 engine. If your oil is meant to have E2, then you can get a E4 and mount and hope for the best. Of course, the E4 is the newer version of the engine. So you expect that it will still be more available than the E2 that is older, that has been phased out. So the E4 should be more in the market than the E2. See where I'm coming from for now. So because most of the cars because they are newer, they replace the E4, so the E2. So most of the E2 probably have been scrapped or sold off in Europe or Asia, other countries where they were purchased new. So the E4 is the one that probably they will be scrapping by now. So I bet, that's how you get the point. You won't even see both of them anymore. So, all right. So this is from Ismail. He said the seller is good. He's the best Peugeot parts dealer in Jos. He's talking about the video I did and the post I shared concerning where a client of mine purchased CV joint for a V6 406 V6 607. So yeah, I'm saying so the client ordered it from a part dealer or seller in Jos, and he shipped it to him. I don't know whether it was the one that shipped it or he had somebody. I think it was somebody that went there and purchased it and shipped it for him, or it was the part seller. So it depends. So I don't know. I've not made the purchase, but I have the contact. Anytime I need it, I'll make the order. Hopefully, it will be available. It's not the same with 407 V6. I'm not sure it will work in 407 V6. I don't know. But the designs are not the same. I don't expect it to work. The 407 V6, I think that one is available here in Abuja, the new CV joint. I'm talking about the outer one. It's only 406 V6 that is not available in Abuja. I don't know why. A whole of Abuja, they don't sell it, but yet it's available in Jos. Hopefully, it should be in Lagos because almost every one of us here in the north the part dealers, they go to Lagos to buy this part. So um okay, this one, I think I responded to this question before. So this one, he now included the model of the car. He said 307 1.6 liter engine. um he said your mechanic is suspecting that it could be your engine ECU. Yeah, it could be your transmission ECU. That's what your mechanic is suggesting. It's possible too, but like I said, when you scan it, you will know. If it's there, you know. So just plug and scan too, or you get another one and put and see whether there will be difference. What I mean is, you borrow and tie. But before you borrow, be careful. I wouldn't borrow. I won't put something that if the wiring system is a mess, because if you put another one, it could damage it. So you need to check your engine wiring, your transmission wiring system, all that before you put another one to test. Just that properly electronically diagnose the transmission. From there, you know. I mean test. I'm talking about the entire system that works with the transmission, including your ABS or your braking system. It has effect. As far as AL4 automatic transmission is concerned in 307, ABS will affect your transmission, no matter how new your transmission is, or your entire transmission system, the entire system. It will not work well until you fix your brakes. What I mean, your ABS. So, alright. Okay. That's where I will stop today. So I'll see you in the next video. If I have any question, put it here. Need more clarification, post it here as well. As you can see, I didn't wait up till weekend, till next weekend to respond. If I have time, I'll do it before the weekend again. Alright, so like the video, subscribe to the channel, and till the next one.